Hello, guys. Happy Thanksgiving for those of you who are celebrating American Thanksgiving, and to my followers elsewhere. Just grateful for you. I hope that everyone is able to celebrate and is able to be around at least one other person that you love and that you cherish. And I hope that we can all come together today to support each other, because I know it's a struggle. This year has been a struggle, and it's a struggle around the holidays for twins, especially if you are disconnected or separated from your twin in any capacity. So I send you guys out my love, and I wanted to do a video this morning to tap into the energies of Thanksgiving. Of course, the next biggest astrological event will be on November 30th, on Monday, the last day of November, and we do have that partial lunar eclipse full moon in the sign of Gemini that I've been talking about. So that is going to impact everyone a little differently depending on where Gemini sits in your chart, what house Gemini is in. And so if you're savvy enough with an astrological chart, doesn't require that much savviness actually. There's websites that will compute this for you, but you can look it up and find out where this lunar eclipse will hit in your chart. So where does Gemini sit in your particular chart? What house is Gemini in? So your first house is your rising sign, and so on and so forth. So let us take a look into the energies of today. I have the Sacred Rebels deck just because I'm feeling really rebellious and we're moving into the age of Aquarius, and I know that we're all feeling this rebellion. I also have the Element Oracle, which has become my trusted oracle. And then I have the oh my gosh. What is this? The Moon, Queen of the Moon Oracle. Sorry, I forgot what it was. So I have that as well. We're going to start with the Sacred Rebel Oracle. Okay, Sacred Rebels. Okay, they want me to go ahead and just kind of cleanse and clear with my selenite. This is my first reading of the day, so energy is nice and clear. Let's go ahead and find out what exactly is going on here with the twins. What's going on with my divine counterparts. So I'd like to find out, feminines, where is your energy at today? Because we've had so many monumental energy shifts. Where is the feminine's energy at? For light. So this talks about how the feminines have been challenged by the darkness, the void space that we have been in, or many of us have been in. Not all of you, so as always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Not every reading will resonate, and not everything in one reading will resonate. I'm reading for a collective. You guys know what's best for you, and you know your truth as always. But this to me really speaks of the feminine going really deep in her emotions. There's a watery element here. Interesting that she chose the seahorses, because the males actually carry the babies with the seahorses. So I feel like this could be saying that the feminines are, this is what I feel like is going on intuitively, guys. I feel like the feminines are in the masculine energy, in this void, and the masculines are deep in the feminine energy. But I also still feel like the feminines are healing father wounds and the masculines are healing mother wounds. But the masculines are more in the feminine energy, which actually makes sense because they can relate in a deeper level to the feminine energy, so they can heal those wounds faster, and vice versa, the feminines being in a more masculine energy. I feel like the feminines, so they're able to heal father wounds more easily and masculine wounds more easily, and the wounds of the past. So this sort of flip-flop that's happening has been designed by the divine for both counterparts to be able to feel how the other one has felt in 2020. So, for instance, this void space that we're in, I've been texting like a DM. I've been texting people back, yes, period, no, period, how are you, question mark. There's not a lot of extras in my messaging right now. I'm not capable of doing that. I'm definitely in this void space, and I'm starting to realize this is how my masculine felt, and this is how many masculines have felt. Many masculines have felt this year. They weren't able to dive for the light. Okay, they weren't able to dig deeper. They were instead just so weighed down by life and by the changes that life was bringing them, and by the shifts that were happening unbeknownst to them, and uninvited by them, really. Because I think if you asked the masculines, they would have said my life was fine just the way it was. Yeah, I wasn't totally happy or totally fulfilled, but I had everything in place. I had my ducks in a row, everything was organized, and then everything got washed away. Everything got pulled out from underneath them. And that's when the masculines started to blame the feminines, and now they're in this place of forgiving the feminines and forgiving themselves and forgiving, a karmic partner, and just this place of deep forgiveness. I think there's some regret for how they treated the feminines in their life, and the feminines are feeling this as the pain of the masculine energy hurting them, okay, abusing their love. And I don't mean abuse in the traditional sense of the word. I mean, by no means do I mean abuse. I'm talking about the masculines not honoring the love, the masculines not being able to give to the feminine what the feminine was giving to the masculine, not being able to show their affection, not being able to be honest with themselves about how they truly felt. And so the masculines are feeling how they starved the feminine for attention and love, and how they held back, how they withheld, and they're feeling the pain that they caused the feminine. And the feminine in turn is feeling the self-abandonment that they inflicted when they allowed the masculine to treat them with less than respect, or less than what they deserved. Okay, so I hope I'm putting that into words that make sense. I'm sort of a little foggy right now. I've mentioned I try to keep up with the symptoms, ascension symptoms, and shifts for you guys. And so one of those today is mental fogginess. So I'll do my best to convey it in a clear manner. But I do feel like going back to the card, the 1 and the 1, symbolizing both twins are diving for light. And even though this is in the feminine's energy, the masculines are really, really near and dear to the feminine energy right now. So both twins are diving for the light and really seeking knowledge. There's knowledge. There's a sense of like awe and wonder on this person's face. So what will I find? That's kind of what I hear here is I'm curious. There's a curiosity of what will I find when I go diving for light. Okay, and it's really asking for both twins to be brave. How much courage do you have inside of you? So there's a situation for both twins that's been sort of evoked, and they're being asked to grow in their power, and grow in their wisdom, and grow in just their rawness and their authenticity. Like, who am I? And because there's this darkness that's been sort of pervasive right now around both twins at this present time, situations, life circumstances, changes, relationships ending, karmic cycles ending, it just maybe just the void of feelings, okay? Or on the opposite, on the flip side, feeling everything, feeling the anger, feeling the rage, feeling the sadness, feeling the heartbreak, feeling the fear, okay? So it could be one or the other. You could flip and oscillate from going from one extreme to the other. But it feels like a death, okay? This is what it feels like to me, is there's a death. Not in the actual physical sense, hopefully. I pray that it's not for any of you. But a death in the sense of an emotional death. A death of the way things were. There's a death of the order, okay? And this is happening collectively. And so many of us as light workers are feeling this inside as the death of a part of ourselves. So a lot of parts that we thought had been buried and entrenched and just unable to be seen again or heard from again are coming up. They're being resurrected. and we're being asked to bring them into the light. It's more shadow work, guys. Okay, it's a lot of shadow work. I'm actually offering a shadow work illumination reading for December, because I think this is so important, that this is one of the things that's coming up, is illuminating the shadows. So if you guys emailed me and I got back to you and I did not include that, this is something I came up with last night. So if you are interested and you've already emailed me about the shadow reading, it will look into the shadows, your obstacles, your blocks, maybe your blind side, what you can't see, but what needs to be brought to the light. I think this is really important right now. So understand that in doing this, in the process of diving for the light, you're going to discover those lost parts of yourself, those parts you buried, in a treasure chest in the deep depths of the ocean and the sea, and you thought you never see them again, you never hear from them again, you never have to deal with them again or feel them again, but here you are feeling it all. And for a lot of people, depression is resurfacing. So I want you guys to take really good care of yourselves and honor that, and realize, that on this day of giving thanks, the very first thing that you should always be thankful for is numero uno, yourself. I'm thankful for myself for showing up for this wild journey. I'm thankful for myself for being so incredibly strong and powerful and resilient. I'm thankful for myself for not giving up. I'm thankful for myself for being able to still spread light even when I feel like I'm in my darkest hour. So giving thanks for yourself. And guys, maybe light a candle today to represent this light that you're diving for, and earn in any way that you can. Maybe go outside and be under the energy of what it would be like a 3/4 full moon at this point, maybe a little less, a little more than half, a little less than 3/4. But go out and just be, maybe moon bathe, but be under the sunlight today, okay? Get your vitamin D, have some candles lit maybe for dinner here around the dinner table. And if it's just you celebrating tonight, be thankful for yourself, for your dedication to this journey, for your life, for your light, for everything that you are and everything that you're becoming. Big, bold vision. So the masculines are focused on the next phase, the next chapter. I know it doesn't seem like this yet for many in the 3D, okay? I can just, hear it now, but, I haven't heard anything. Even if you're in communication, many masculines are still, mum is the word. They're still being very quiet. They're not actually speaking the truth or what's really on their mind. They're still being very secretive, okay? But there is this energy here, whereas this is like the energy of awe and wonder, okay? And just, kind of accepting what's coming up. This is the energy to me of I'm moving forward and I have no fear. I'm fearless. So there's a fearlessness element here. And with the bee, I believe that's a honeybee, we have the element of working together, community. So the masculines will be coming together as a collective. I remember, and I've said this before, if you guys have been following my channel, that my masculine said, I'll never be part of a collective. And I just snickered inside and laughed and giggled, because I'm like, you have no idea who you are yet. You have no idea that you already are part of an incredible collective of amazing masculines. And that one day they'll be able to team up together. They'll be able to talk to one another about their experiences and what they've been through and the trials and tribulations of, getting back to their feminine and burning, things away in their lives that have not worked for them. So they feel this coming on. And even if they're not necessarily diving right in, okay, they may not even tell you about this. I feel like a lot of the masculines are very quiet right now because they're afraid if they speak, they'll appear weak or too vulnerable, or that if they even tried to speak to the feminine right now, they would just fall apart. They're afraid that because they're healing, they're feeling all, okay, remember I said with this card, guys, the masculines are feeling what the feminines felt when the masculine rejected them or abandoned them in some way. Or, that's what it looked like anyway, even though they were just playing their part in their role. They weren't doing it to purposely hurt the feminine, but this is what it looks like in the 3D. When that happened, the masculines couldn't feel it. They didn't have the empathy or the compassion, but now they do, and now they're really understanding what the feminine has gone through, what they have put the feminine through, and how much she or he has endured, and their love, their unconditional, everlasting love, despite everything. And they're just like, they're just in awe. I can't believe this person still loves me and still wants to be with me and chooses me after everything that's happened. They can't believe that a person like you exists. So I feel like they're in this sort of awestruck energy, but at the same time, it's sort of paralyzing to them because they're trying to live up to that. They're trying to be that person that you see them as, and they're not quite there yet. But the vision is there, and the vision is there of who I'm becoming and who I will be, and putting the puzzle pieces together. Guys, they're having to completely resurrect themselves and completely regenerate themselves in a totally different way. Their life is going to look nothing like what it did before. Okay, if they had this job and they made, I don't know, 6, 7 figures, millions of dollars, or they had this huge, incredibly large home, or cars, or toys, or golf country clubs, memberships, and travel, and all of these things, if they indulged in 3D earthly pleasures, a lot of that has come crashing down around them and will continue to do so as we move into this new earth where we're working as a community. We're working together to create this big, bold vision. So this is more about them moving into mission work and out of that energy of money, 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 power, power, power. And even if you're masculine, like my masculine's really humble most of the time. And he was very attached to this idea of money bringing him happiness and feeling like it was his duty to provide because of what he had been through as a child. And I think a lot of masculines are in that, have, let's say, past tense, were in that programming. And that's why this year had to happen, so that they could finally understand what really matters. It's not about the money. It's not about, if you're working hard but you're miserable, how can that be a life for you? That's not what you came here to do. We didn't come here to work ourselves to death. We didn't come here to work and not be able to appreciate all of the beautiful things that we've worked for. Like, I never understood working so hard but then never being home. The people that don't have to, but the people that, let's say, choose to work 3 jobs and then have a Porsche and have this and have that, but then they're never home. Or the person that works 100 hours a week, but you're never home to appreciate it. So you have this beautiful, amazing home with all these amenities that you can't actually use or appreciate. I never understood that. So to me, that's a program. That's a program that's running that says I have to stay busy. I have to distract myself, because otherwise I might actually fall apart. I might actually have to feel the pain of my life and what I've been through, and then I may have to come to terms with why I've chosen the life that I have and realize that it's totally wrong for me. So this is where the masculines are at, is realizing this life, this vision that they have now looks nothing like the one that they had before. Nothing. Oh, wow. I have chills. Ooh. Okay, so what we have here, guys, is union energy. Come to life. There's a paintbrush here that's starting to bring color to this woman, okay? I see a serpent, a butterfly, a bird, and a monkey. Interesting, the animals they choose. And in this card we see releasing allegiances. Okay, so releasing the allegiances, releasing oneself from the you that society wanted or needed you to be, or your family or your spouse wanted or needed you to be. For the feminines, that are involved in karmic connections. Okay, this is releasing yourself from those allegiances and giving yourself permission to go your own way. But there's a sadness, okay? There's an element of leaving something behind here for sure, okay? But there's an element of protecting yourself. I mean, she's completely protected and wrapped up in her own love. So there's an element right now, it's almost like I can see the masculines, and because this is union energy, the feminines as well, but more the masculines, I can see them just sort of wanting to be alone right now. Don't touch me, don't look at me. If you're worried about your masculine being intimate with a karmic partner, they're absolutely not. Like 0% chance. unless it's a higher level soulmate and there's a lot of love there. But if it's an actual karmic partner, the karmic cycles are closing. They're being forced to close and getting more and more painful. I have a friend who watches this channel, a divine feminine, a good friend, a sister. We've had many lifetimes together. And she is the one who has a soulmate. And she's working on getting out of that marriage, and it's extremely painful for her. And I can see everything she's having to go through to release these allegiances to who she was, who she was promised to be, and even with her own family and with this person not understanding, but having to love herself. And there's an element of needing to protect yourself in all of this. So the masculines or feminines that are walking away from karmic connections or marriages or allegiances or family members that are toxic, they're having to really spend time alone. Okay, they're having to cocoon, they're having to protect themselves, because I feel like a lot of shots have been fired at them from society, from their family, and from their soon to be ex-spouse. And it's really making them feel like they did something wrong when they're actually choosing themselves. The allegiance they're choosing is now to themselves, sovereignty. So there might be a period of time which can be painful for the twin flame, where if your twin flame is walking away from a karmic connection, that they may need time and space to themselves, and you may not understand why aren't they coming forward to me immediately. They need time and space to heal. Nobody ever said this journey was easy. Nobody ever said that. Nobody ever promised that. And if they did, they're not on the journey. They're not. So you see how 10 reduces to 1. This is the number of independence and being single and sovereignty. So twins are releasing themselves from the ties that bind and all that doesn't serve them. But it is painful and it is sad. And it does require a period of mourning. They're going to go through, they're grieving, guys. If your masculine's quiet and you suspect that they've walked away from a karmic partner, or that life is falling apart, they're grieving right now. They're in deep grief, and they can't come forward because it's like they have nothing to say. And I know this energy because I've been in it the past couple days, like all of this week really. And it just feels like you're searching for the words, but you can't find them. So they feel like I'm better off just being quiet than saying something I'm going to regret. Because remember, there's a protection barrier here in place for the connections, where neither twin wants to say something that will potentially push the other twin away for good. And even though we say, well, that can never happen, what if you said something that was so incredibly painful and hurtful that the connection couldn't recover from, or that person just couldn't recover from that because that was just such a deep wound? I don't know. I'm just speaking of possibilities here. I don't have all the answers, guys. Come to life. Okay, so this is the energy of being really painting oneself back to life. So this is really a beautiful story being told here, okay? There's this element of rising up from the darkness. There's this element of creating oneself. And there's this element of, and that's feminine, that's masculine energy, both within and without, okay, internally and externally. And then you have this energy of releasing oneself from the past. But notice how these two cards are in black and white, slowly starting to come into color, because first you have to release the allegiances. And the twins that are in connections know this. They cannot be with their twins fully, obviously, until they leave that connection or they leave that karmic situation, whatever it might be, behind. And then there's the element of bringing themselves back to life. They have to do this themselves. This is loud and clear. The masculines and feminines that are in these karmic connections, they have to understand that they have to be the ones to bring themselves back to life, that the counterpart, that's not their job. The counterpart should be living their life for them and doing everything they can to heal and to assist the counterpart and sending them love, but the counterpart has to be able to breathe life back into their own skin. This turned into a much deeper reading than I suspected, but that's beautiful. These cards are really special. Dream a beautiful dream. This reminds me of the 10 of Pentacles energy. You guys know by now that the King of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, two of my favorite cards, used to be the Ten of Cups until I started studying tarot, really understanding it. And there's just so much more, still to understand. There's so many layers and depths to tarot and so many different interpretations. That's what's beautiful about it, is we each have our own interpretation. But this is definitely my Ten of Pentacles card. And 9 plus 1, what's 9 plus 1? 10. Okay, so we have this energy of this is this big, bold vision. Okay, that the masculine energy, the action-oriented energy inside of us, and the actual physical masculine is inspired. But first, there's a period of mourning, there's a period of resurrection and healing, and there's a period of being brought back up from the darkness, and then we step into this energy of this big, bold vision, in 2021. That's another reading I'm offering, guys. I just came up with this last night, by the way. Another reading, in addition to the shadow work reading, a new reading, is I'm offering a reading for you that looks into the energies of 2021 and what that means for you. We can look into your connection and looking into, your health, your career, your finances, and all of those things. And what is that going to look like for you? And what is that story that's going to be told by you in 2021? So really excited about those. And then I'm also doing eclipse readings. So the eclipse that's coming next Monday, and then also 2 weeks later on December 14th, we have a solar eclipse, a new moon eclipse. So we can look into those energies of where those eclipses, how they will affect you, and what that means, what changes that will bring, what endings and what beginnings that will bring into your life. So back to the card, 10 of Pentacles. Okay, dreaming a beautiful dream. This is the vision. This is the new earth. This is the counterparts. I channeled the other day in a reading, springtime, rebirth. Okay, the spring equinox being very, very powerful for twins. And I know some of you are thinking, but I thought you said November, December. Here's what I want to say about that. And this is specifically for my love, Andrew, who he's been so strong and really been holding out, and he's been on this journey a long time. I believe it's been 10 years, and he's been very discouraged, as many of us have this year. And this is what I want to say about, first of all, I never promise timelines, because they change and they shift, and there's so much changing and shifting globally right now. It would be impossible for me to say, well, this is when your union will happen. It's impossible. And that's not one of my gifts. If someone else has that gift, kudos to them. But things change. And anytime I've been promised a timeline, it really hasn't panned out. I've worked with a few astrologers. Astrology, if you really go deep into your chart, that can give you an idea of when things will happen, but not the cards, in my opinion. Things change. The cards, things are changeable. But what I think happened is this. We have so many global collective changes. The election here in the States, okay, shifting everything, bringing things to light, more and more people waking up, more and more people around the world saying no to being controlled, okay, by government, etc. And what I think is that our attention as twins has had to be on the global scale. It has had to be on this big, bold vision of this new earth. So it's been taken away a little bit from the romantic factor, and it's been put into the earth and us working together. But we're working separately, many of us right now in the first wave, but many in the second and third wave are in communication. And guys, please understand, this is not, oh, we're leading. This is, we're all in this together. Okay, we're all rowing our boats, and we're in the rowboats. We're working side by side. Second and third wavers, you're going to come into union directly following the first wavers. So it's not like you're going to be waiting 5-10 years. That's not what this is about. We are all coming into union. The first wavers are sort of paving the path, if you will, but second and third wavers are doing their diligence, doing their due diligence right behind us. And I don't want to say right behind us, right beside us, okay? So we're all in this together. So please don't be, if someone's told you, someone said I was a third waver, amazing. That's great. And listen, being a first wave is fucking challenging, guys, okay? I mean, in a sense, being the second or third waver, so on and so forth, is beautiful, because maybe you won't have to go through some of the pain or some of the separation that the first wave has had to go through. So look at it in a more positive light. It's not been easy to be a first waver. It's been really, really painful and challenging. And I know it'll be rewarding. But man, sometimes it's just, we ask ourselves, did I really sign up for this? You know, did I really take this on? And you have to ask and call on your light team and your archangels, okay, and your guides, your Arcturian or Syrian guides or Lemurian guides or Mendakan guides, okay, for guidance in faith. But anyway, I digress. So that's what I think happened in November, December. I also think that there are many things happening, and I know for a fact there are many things happening behind the scenes that we can't see with our two eyes. This is where you really have to trust not in the 3D, but in what's happening inside. The truth of this connection lies inside your own heart and soul. It does not lie in the 3D, okay? So, because the 3D lies. The 3D is this great big grand illusion where everyone has been wearing masks. Now those are all falling off. But we have to understand that the truth is not in what you're seeing in the 3D. So just because springtime came up doesn't mean unions won't start to happen in December. They're gaining momentum in November. December will start to really open that door and portal, and then they're just going to begin to be ushered in. And I feel like by springtime, many, many people will be in union or reunion. Okay? So that's what I think has happened there. But this is the energy of the twins working together to create this heaven on earth, which is what we signed up for in the first place. Okay, let's check in. I'm going to I've got to work on some personal readings today, so I'm going to just finish up this reading because it turned out being a lot deeper and as always a lot longer than I expected. So let's go ahead and pull. I'm looking into the full moon energies here for the twins. This comes up over and over again. Be fluid, okay? Be malleable, be changeable, be open to change, be open to shifting, and more water energy here, okay? Be open to things, okay? Be open to things not working out the way you need them to or expect them to, but things working out the way they need to, the way that they are supposed to. This is definitely about the 3D, the outer core. This is about the 3D and just being very fluid and being very accepting of what is happening and how it is happening and how it's unfolding. We have movement, speed. So this would be like the 8 of Wands energy to me, okay? If you had to relay this to a tarot card, this would be 8 of Wands. So this is definitely the energy of things happening rather quickly. I'm telling you guys, things are happening behind the scenes. Be fluid, be open. Don't be rigid. If you're rigid in the way you need things to happen or need things to show up, they have to happen. Guys, we've all done this. And I've said this before in a reading, I don't know, last week or something. It's like, well, if they don't contact me on Thanksgiving, that's it, I'm done. And then the next week you're like, can I have a reading? We've all done that. But you can't go by 3D constructs or 3D demands or 3D timelines. We can't. So things are happening in some dimension, in some sphere, with the speed of lightning. It's just they haven't manifested yet in the 3D world. They haven't caught up yet. This card comes up over and over again right now for both personal readings and for group readings. We have darkness moon, okay? Understand that this is the void and that after the void space, this is, okay, we're in this energy of releasing allegiances, okay? This energy of detaching ourselves from things that have been painful, from things that have hurt us, from things that have not served our best interest. And then we start bringing ourselves to life, okay? Then we start healing. We go through that healing period. We talked about those already in detail. And then we start diving for the light to come out of this. But first, we have to sit in the darkness. We have to sit in this energy of self-protection. Okay, it's really where both twins are at right now, self-protection and honor and appreciate the darkness and the not knowing, the period of not knowing what's next, the period of maybe fear. Okay, the fear of, well, I don't know what comes next, so what am I supposed to do here? Fecundity, rain. Yeah, it's the element of cleansing and clearing, the element of womb cleansing and clearing. This is another card that's coming up over and over and over again. And then fury, bushfires, healing anger at oneself for what you have put up with, what you have allowed. And also, I feel like this is the fury of the ancestors for how, for how we have treated the earth, for how we have sort of raptured the earth, and how we have not respected it, because we have this card here. So this is this beautiful heaven on earth that we're creating. So this is, the energy of the ancestors saying, love each other better. There's just so much anger, there's so much fury. And I also think that this could be sort of an indication of times to come, okay, before we get to this state. Okay, so I'm not going to say any more on that because YouTube will probably take my video down. But I think you guys get the gist. There's a lot more that I could say. There's just, yeah. So I have to be careful, and as do all creators. I think I'm going to I'm going to pull one more card. I don't like leaving on that energy because it's kind of an angry energy. Not that anger is bad, it's just on Thanksgiving I'd like to end with a different energy. So I pull from the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Energy to focus on for today. The path, beautiful. Focus on the path ahead. Yeah, keep your head up, guys, and keep the lights on, okay, inside, because you're masculine, that's how they're finding you. Follow the path to your true heart, the path to your potential, the path to your future, path to your joy, path to your abundance. What else here? What else can the twins look forward to here? Should be focusing on beautiful self-reflection, okay, and resiliency. So the energy of you carry yourself in this lifetime. The energy of I carry myself and I know how to take care of myself first and foremost. And then you have the energy of mirroring energy. Both twins, again, the masculines mirroring the feminines, mirroring and leaning into the feminine energy, and the feminines leaning into the masculine energy. So there is a merging. There's this soul merging taking place, and it's getting stronger and stronger. Guys, I could say much more, but I'm going to leave on that note. I'm going to go back to my personal readings. I send you guys tons of love today on this day of thanks and gratitude. Thank you so much for growing this channel to 8,000 subscribers, which we reached last night. Thank you so much to all of you for supporting each other, to my moderators for being there and uplifting the entire community, even when you're in a time of darkness or you're in a time of void or pain, and you're always there. So I thank you guys so much. I've selected my moderators just based on who I thought would be able to really give back, and who had the energy to do so. So you are all so special. All of my subscribers and viewers, new and old. I don't want to say old, but you guys have been with me, for a while. Some of you since the beginning. Thank you so much. This is just a beautiful honor to be able to serve and to be able to create in this way. I send you so much love. Have a beautiful, blessed day.